At 88 years old, Bill Gaither has kept many things close to his heart, but that's beginning to change. For decades, his music has reached and inspired millions, yet much of his personal journey remained untold. Now, after years of silence, Gaither is finally ready to share stories that few have heard, revealing long-held secrets and long-hidden truths. As he opens up, everything you thought you knew about Bill Gaither may be transformed. On July 26, 2024, tragedy shook the gospel music community. A devastating plane crash in Wyoming took the lives of 3 cherished members of the renowned gospel group, the Nellens. Kelly Nellen Clark, her husband Jason Clark, and their daughter Amber Nellen Kistler, integral members of the award-winning family ensemble, perished in the crash. The family had been en route to join the Gaither Homecoming Alaska cruise, which was scheduled to depart from Seattle. Just before the accident, the Nellens shared a cheerful moment with fans, posting a lighthearted video on Instagram. In the clip, they stood beside their plane in Nebraska City, Nebraska, laughing and chatting about getting a meal before their next leg to Montana. That would be their final stop. The aircraft, a Pilatus PC-12/47E, carried 7 people when it crashed in a remote area of Campbell County. Firefighters battled flames near the wreckage through the night, and investigators had yet to reach the crash site by the following day. A statement from Gaither management later clarified that Jason and Kelly's youngest daughter, Autumn Nellen Streetman, and her husband Jamie were not on the flight. They had traveled separately and safely arrived in Seattle. It was there they learned of the accident. Joined by other gospel artists at the hotel, Autumn and Jamie found comfort through prayers, music, and the support of friends. They later returned home to be with Autumn's uncle, Todd Nellen, and his wife Rhonda, as the family began facing the painful road ahead. The Gaither team expressed deep sympathy and asked for ongoing prayers and support during the difficult days that followed. In the immediate aftermath, Bill Gaither remained silent, but when he finally spoke, his words confirmed what many had sensed: this tragedy had struck close to home. Months later, he released a heartfelt tribute video honoring the Nellens. In it, he reflected on decades of memories, from the early days when Kelly's father, Rex Nellen, first performed on a Gaither stage, to watching young Amber sing, and finally to the last days before the crash. The week Bill chose to break his silence was also the first time Autumn appeared with the Gaithers for a new taping since the loss of her family. Her presence was bittersweet, but it marked a step toward healing and honoring the legacy of those lost. True to his faith, Gaither described the tragedy as part of God's plan. For many fans, the thought that such a terrible loss could not be prevented was devastating. The Nellens had long been a beloved pillar in gospel music. In 2016, they were inducted into the Gospel Music Hall of Fame, a recognition of a lifetime of service and inspiration. Over the years, they achieved remarkable success in Southern gospel, with 20 songs reaching the top 5 on the charts. While they received multiple Grammy nominations, their greatest accolades came through the Dove Awards, 10 wins and 35 nominations from the Gospel Music Association. Their most recent Dove Award came in 2021 for If God Pulled Back the Curtain, which was named Country Bluegrass Roots Recorded Song of the Year. The group's roots trace back to the 1970s, when Rex Nellen took over leadership of the Lefevres. In 1977, the group was renamed the Rex Nellen Singers, and in 1985, they became known as the Nellens. Kelly began performing part-time in 1972, eventually joining full-time and taking over management after her father's retirement in 1997. Jason joined in 1994, and Amber became part of the group in 2002. They recorded with several labels including Canaan, RNS, Homeland, Daywind, and Seraphim Music Group. Their music, featuring beloved songs like Oh for a Thousand Tongues, The Sun's Coming Up, Come Morning, I'll Talk to the Father, I'm Glad I Know Who Jesus Is, That's Enough, and We Shall Wear a Robe and Crown, resonated across concerts, radio, and gospel playlists. Jackie Patillo, president of the Gospel Music Association, publicly mourned the loss of Jason, Kelly, and Amber. She extended her deepest condolences to Autumn and the rest of the Nellen family, affirming that their place in the GMA Hall of Fame would remain special. Georgia's governor also issued a message, urging prayers for the victims, their families, and the wider gospel music community as it grieved. The 7-day Gaither homecoming cruise, titled Until We Meet Again, was set to begin that Saturday and return on August 3rd. The cruise featured the celebrated duo Bill and Gloria Gaither and the Gaither Vocal Band as headliners, along with top Christian artists like Mark Lowry, Russ Taff, and Sandy Patty. The loss of the Nellens left a void, not only in the lineup but in the hearts of all who had traveled with them for years. For Bill, the loss was personal, more like losing family than colleagues. Despite the tragedy, Gaither still faced criticism. With immense success has come scrutiny. As gospel music evolved under his leadership, the Gaither homecoming concerts transformed from intimate church gatherings into massive arena events. These shows featured dazzling lights, large video screens, professional sound crews, and production staff. What was once free or inexpensive had become a polished experience, with tickets priced between $50 and $100. Lobbies were filled with merchandise tables offering CDs, mugs, t-shirts, and thick songbooks. Many fans embraced the growth and professionalism, but others, especially from smaller churches, voiced concerns. Some felt that gospel music had become too commercialized. They remembered the days when quartets would sing for love offerings collected in buckets. In response to the changes, some pastors even wrote critical articles asking, "Has worship become commercialized?" Some families with limited budgets were concerned they might be excluded from the Gaither homecoming experience due to ticket prices. One newsletter even labeled the tours as the Gaither money machine. Despite the criticism, Bill Gaither remained firm. He addressed the concerns publicly in interviews and letters, explaining that hosting events in large arenas, hiring union workers, and managing insurance costs was significantly more expensive than using a church gymnasium. He noted that advance ticket sales helped prevent financial losses and that a portion of the profits supported new recordings, music scholarships, and mission work. Bill emphasized that strong business practices enabled them to reach more people with their message. Eventually, what began as criticism evolved into a respectful difference of opinion. While the homecoming tours maintained their pricing, they introduced more affordable seating in upper sections and offered group discounts for church buses. Though price increases still occasionally spark concern, most fans view the trade-off, better sound quality, comfortable seating, and a night of inspiring music, as worthwhile. Attendance remains consistently strong, a sign that for many, the message matters more than the money. In 2002, Bill and Gloria Gaither faced controversy following a homecoming event in Phoenix, Arizona. It was meant to be an informal gathering of gospel singers to share songs, stories, and food, and it was later filmed for a DVD. Among the guests was Marcia Stevens, a prominent figure from the 1970s Jesus music movement, known for writing "For Those Tears I Died." Years after her early success, Marcia publicly came out as gay and began leading worship in churches that embraced same-sex relationships. The backlash began when conservative newsletters published photos from the event. One image showed Bill and Gloria smiling alongside Marcia and her partner, while another showed Bill laughing and calling Marcia a real saint. For those who believe the Bible condemns same-sex relationships, these images were alarming. Christian magazines were inundated with letters, and some pastors called for boycotts of Gaither products, accusing Bill of being too lenient on sin. Bill responded with composure, releasing a statement to explain his position. He said the homecoming table was designed to reflect Christ-like love for everyone. Inviting someone to perform did not imply full endorsement of their lifestyle. He reminded critics that Jesus often dined with people whose choices angered religious leaders. Bill reaffirmed his belief in traditional marriage but stressed the importance of kindness and respect for all. The explanation satisfied most fans, though some remained upset. DVD sales briefly declined but quickly recovered. The incident demonstrated how quickly misunderstandings can escalate, especially in the digital era, and highlighted Bill's unwavering commitment to inclusion, grace, and hospitality, even in the face of disagreement. Bill Gaither has never shied away from his critics. In fact, he stands as one of the few figures in the gospel world to build a true media empire from Christian music. Just how vast is this empire? The Gaither Music Company is a major operation. It's not just a record label, it manages concerts through Gaither Management Group, produces television programs, oversees copyrights, operates a retail store, and runs Gaither Studios, formerly Pinebrook Studios. The company even has an in-house telemarketing team to support its extensive activities. In addition to those ventures, Bill also oversaw the Gaither Family Resources Retail Center. Another component of the company is Live Bait Productions, an animation studio led by Bill's son, Benji Gaither. Back in the 1980s, Bill was associated with Paragon Associates, which partnered with Zondervan to acquire Benson Records, now under Sony BMG Music Entertainment. Then, in 1994, Bill joined with businessman Leland Boren to establish Chapel Hill Music Group in Brentwood, Tennessee. Eventually renamed Spring Hill Music Group, this label became part of the Gaither Music Company and focused on producing popular projects like the Gaither Homecoming series. Bill has mentored numerous younger Christian artists, launching and advancing their careers, while also helping legacy performers stay in the spotlight through homecoming recordings and tours. Many well-known Christian musicians have risen in prominence after touring with the Gaithers, including Mark Lowry, Michael W. Smith, Carmen, Sandy Patty, Steve Green, Don Francisco, Amy Grant, Michael English, Jonathan Pierce, Carla Worley, and Cynthia Clausen. The Gaither vocal band has seen a rotating cast of talented singers over the years, including Gary McSpadden, Steve Green, Lee Young, John Moore, Larnell Harris, Michael English, Lemuel Miller, Jim Murray, Mark Lowry, Terry Franklin, Buddy Mullins, Jonathan Pierce, Guy Penrod, David Phelps, Russ Taff, Marshall Hall, Wes Hampton, Adam Crabb, Todd Suttles, and Reggie Smith. Among them, Penrod, Lowry, and Hampton have had the longest tenures besides Bill himself, Penrod from 1995 to 2008, Lowry from 1988 to 2001, and Hampton since 2005. In 2009, Lowry, English, and Phelps returned, while Penrod and Hall departed. Launched in 1991, the Homecoming Tours united top talent from Southern gospel and contemporary Christian music, revitalizing interest in both genres. The tours have sold more than 1.1 million tickets worldwide and performed in prestigious venues like the Kennedy Center and Carnegie Hall. In 2004, Pollstar ranked the tour as outselling acts like Elton John, Fleetwood Mac, and Rod Stewart. Performers such as Linda Randall, The Isaacs, Russ Taff, The Hoppers, and Jesse Dixon have all been part of the tour, turning it into a grand celebration of gospel music. Bill Gaither may now be at the height of his career, but his journey began with humble roots. In 1956, while attending Anderson College, he formed the Bill Gaither Trio with his sister Mary and brother Danny. He graduated in 1959 with a degree in English and a minor in music. Despite his passion for music, he initially worked as an English teacher. In 1961, he earned a master's degree from Ball State University. A few years later, he became involved in founding the Gospel Music Association and helped organize the first Dove Awards in 1964. Bill tried to balance full-time teaching with his music aspirations, but by 1967, he made a full transition into Christian music. His big break had come earlier, in 1964, when his song He Touched Me was recorded. Influences like Jake Hess, Hovey Lister, and groups such as the Spears, Statesmen, and Happy Goodman shaped his musical style. He married Gloria Sickle, who became not only his life partner but also his songwriting collaborator. For the first 5 years of their marriage, they juggled teaching, songwriting, performing, recording, and publishing. By 1967, music had become their full-time focus. Together, Bill and Gloria wrote songs that resonated deeply with people across generations. Their lyrics offered comfort, hope, and a sense of connection to God, helping to define modern gospel music. Their music wasn't just popular, it was meaningful. Whether in churches, concert halls, or homes, their songs have remained timeless. Bill and Gloria's story is one of love, faith, and a shared calling. They poured their hearts into every note and lyric, believing music could draw people closer to God. In Gaither, a legacy in music, they revealed the inspiration behind their most beloved songs. Gloria often penned the lyrics while Bill composed the melodies, creating a powerful duo whose collaboration resulted in over 700 gospel songs. Their work was not only prolific but deeply heartfelt. Take He Touched Me, written in 1963, it captures the awe of a life changed by God's presence. The song is still sung in churches worldwide. Because He Lives, written during a time of social unrest and personal hardship, offers a powerful message of hope and reassurance. Its chorus has comforted millions. Then there's The King is Coming, a stirring portrayal of Christ's return, filled with vivid imagery and a moving melody. Even decades later, it continues to inspire. These are just a few examples of the Gaithers' lasting impact on Christian worship. Their music continues to thrive in both traditional services and modern praise settings. The influence of their songs is undeniable. What do you think of Bill Gaither and his music? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Click the next video on your screen, you're sure to enjoy it.